Hey, WampaDude here. Welcome to the WampaDude Channel. And I want to thank this guy right here, my buddy Ivar. He's the one that gave me the confidence to start making content again. Playing around with him in the hurricane, seeing if he could fall over in his chair. You know, it got me wanting to make content again. But, you know, I had some projects coming already. I'll tell you about those in a moment. But yeah, I put out a teaser that I would put him out a second time for this next hurricane. You know, that's when we didn't see how strong this one was going to be. It's no Category 5. You don't mess around with a Category 5. You evacuate. And as much as I would love to put him out in the rain, out in the wind to see if he'll actually fall over in a Category 3 hurricane when they're saying that it's going to strike, nah, we're going to evacuate because as of the latest report, that eye of the hurricane is coming over our house. Yeah, right here in Pinellas County. Yeah. Oops, I told you where I'm at. But I guess the Maderia Beach content kind of gave it away already a bit. But I like to say Tampa Bay. This whole area is my home. Maderia Beach, that's where I grew up. Pinellas County, that's where I spent most of my time. But Tampa Bay, I love Tampa Bay. If you notice, most of the time I am wearing a Tampa Bay hat. I'm not a Tampa J. I like that guy. He represents the area good. But I do what I do. I'm just a silly maker and a fool that likes to dress up in silly costumes and make weird content, having a skeleton fall over in a hurricane. But what other content do I have planned? My next video was actually going to replace all the knee braces in my giant spider for Halloween. And this year I bought a giant skeleton, so I wanted my giant spider to fight a giant skeleton. And now this guy's going to be evolved. I had a whole story ready for it. And, you know, even so, I even bought a huge roll of beef netting spider webs. The whole front of my house is going to be decorated with this beef netting spider webs and giant skeletons. You saw the big one peek here. Wait, yeah, there he is. Big giant skeleton versus big giant spider. A whole house covered in spider webs. It's going to be fun if I can ever get to it, because if you notice on this channel, a lot of my content has been hurricane related. Because we lost a house. We did. All joking aside, when I was out there with him, I was having a blast. But in the back of my head, I always think about the Maderia Beach house, my grandfather's house. You know, it's something that we've been dealing with all year since we lost him. And I miss him. I miss him a lot. I'm so grateful that I got to have him as part of this channel, you know, taking him to Las Vegas. But yeah, it's been fun. Here, I'll do a little walk around. Yeah, see, house is pretty empty. You know, we've pretty much pulled everything. We had to do the flood cutting of the walls. Flood cutting sucks, and I know we probably should have gone higher because as of right now, storm surge is about to hit this house a second time. It's something that I really worry about this house because there's a lot of debris out in the roads. There's a lot of debris still in the roads that will not be cleaned up by the time Hurricane Milton comes, you know. So all those efforts for flood mitigation and mold mitigation, trying to get the house without any wet walls and trying to cut out your drywall, all that starts all over as soon as the new storm surge comes in 2 weeks. No, there's no question that our house is gonna have storm surge in it again. But yeah, but you know, when will I get to be able to see it again? I don't know, because we're evacuating. We're going north, and but the size of the storm is so large. I don't even know if us going up north is far enough. You know, I looked at some of the weather patterns, and you know, it looks like even as far as north as we're going, it's still gonna be extremely wet, extremely dangerous in a storm. So unless we leave the state, you know, can't go east, go out to Orlando. I know that a lot of times if there was a hurricane in Tampa Bay or going by Tampa Bay, people retreat out to Orlando. Well, this thing's going straight across the state. This is the worst possible path that it can take for Tampa Bay. If you strike anything above the skyway, all that water gets pushed up into the bay, and storm surge it'll be devastating for the whole Bay Area, not just the barrier islands. That, you know, the whole Bay Area is going to look like that footage of that I took in the barrier islands, with the trash all over the streets. And you know, that's another thing with barrier islands, all that trash, all that effort that you made to cut all of the stuff off your walls, all the mold, all that mold's building now in the drywall and the building materials that are sitting out on the street. It's going to be out in the rain growing more mold. And as soon as the storm surge comes in, as soon as the wind comes in, it's going to pick up all that trash and push it into the houses, all over the yards, into the canals, into the intercoastal. It's going to be a trash disaster on those beaches. I just don't know how the community is going to, you know, come back. You know, there's articles in New York magazines saying, maybe people shouldn't be living on the beach fronts. That's New York, man. We're in Florida. You guys don't know how great it is to live on the beaches and live right on the intercoastal, being able to go fishing, being able to socialize on your boat. It's a lifestyle. But, yeah. That's not the content I wanted to put out this week. But, it's the content. Hey, we're running scared. We got a hurricane, and I cannot make content with this guy, because we're leaving. We're getting out of here. So, hey, it's a short video today. It's not going to be a long video, but, you know, if we can get back into the Bay Area, I'll film some Hurricane Milton. I can't say it. Hurricane Milton. The guy from The Office Space with the red stapler. I've seen memes for this. You know, it's kind of silly. I'll set the Teslas on fire. Yeah, we're dealing with that too. All the electric cars catching on fire because of storm surge. Did you ever put that on your bingo card for the year? Nope. But yeah. Did I have getting hit by a hurricane twice this year? You know, we also had Tropical Storm Debbie. It's been a fun year for Tampa Bay and the storms, because, well, it's not fun for some of us because, you know, we're dealing with the insurance now. We're dealing with flood insurance mitigators coming in and having to estimate, figuring out if we're going to do the 50-50 rule. If it's damages 50% more of your of the value of your home, they tell you to tear it down. That's the word going around. I haven't particularly examined it. You know, that might be the case that happens to the one on the beaches. We might have to tear it down. Hopefully this house doesn't need to be torn down, because that's one thing too. My house is at risk. My house is in the eye of the storm now, and while I'm not on the shoreline, I am in the middle of Pinellas County, and we got shoreline on both sides. We got to deal with storm surge coming in from all over the place. Will the whole county become an island? Are the roads going to be accessible to get back into the county? Because, you know, Tarpon Springs, that's kind of marshy. US 19 could be taken out. Hillsborough Avenue in Oldsmar, that's right at the mouth of the bay, and if all the water gets pushed into the mouth of the bay, Oldsmar's a mess. And that's another thing too, is, you know, I lost Adam a few years ago, and his house was right on Oldsmar, right at the mouth of the bay. His house is probably going to be underwater all the time that I spent with him there. There's a lot of loss that's going to come in here to Tampa Bay, and I really feel for the community, because I know we're going to get hit hard. I'm saying that ahead of time. You know, it could take the Tampa Bay turn. You know, there's a lot of times that we get a storm coming straight at us, and at the last minute it turns. And for 100 years, we've been lucky. But reports are saying that this one, we're not going to be lucky. So next time you see me, it's going to be after the hurricane. It's going to be after I evacuated. I don't know if I'm coming back to this house. With that, thank you. Love you all. Go big. Enjoy.